Hi everyone, Kyra Schaefer here. I'm going to talk to you about pre-orders today for your author's advantage. Okay, so now pre-orders, this is completely unscripted. So, so just so you know, I just wanted to get out here and give you some insights, some ideas about getting your pre-orders done. So I'm going to share my screen in a few minutes, but I'm going to talk to you a little bit about, you know, just an overview. So the first thing is that you can actually help fund your book project by doing pre-orders. So once you have your concept and maybe even your manuscript written, but maybe it hasn't gotten copy edited yet, or you are still in the process of maybe even outlining it, but you're really in the flow. You know you're going to be producing this book. You can do some pre-orders to help generate some interest in your copy, in your book, and help you to essentially get it off the ground. Not only that, but I feel like there is an accountability piece to that, because when somebody pays you for a pre-order, you know you have to do that book, right? So any of those thoughts or fears or doubts or any of that stuff get kind of sidelined, because then you are committed to someone else. And I've had a lot of authors do this in the past where they're like, you know what? I have all these people who want to see my book. They're business owners, they're coaches, they're healers, they have clients, or they're speakers. And I have people who are just after me because they really want me to produce this book. And, I don't know. And so that kind of incentivizes the author, the speaker or the coach to put it together. That's one piece. The next piece is when you do pre-orders, then you are obligated. And that can be really helpful, because when we're obligated to do something, sometimes it helps us get things moving a lot faster. And if you have that obligation within a time frame, you have a speaking engagement coming up, or you have something that you would like to be able to take your books to, that can be really helpful as well. So you have these kind of goals set. And in a world where people struggle with things like ADHD, or they have some challenges, knowing their worth and putting themselves out there in a bigger way, having some of these things in place can be really helpful. Not to say that you aren't a go-getter and that you won't do it, but from my own point of view, from my own perspective, being someone who was afraid to put my first book out there, I can tell you that there are a lot of authors that this happens with. No matter how dedicated we are, no matter how much of an amazing coach we are to other people, there can be some of this like disconnect. So pre-orders is a really great way to do that. For me, for the first collaboration book we did, which was called Happy Thoughts Playbook, that was took me a year to do that one. And I had collaborators who paid money to be in the book, and that helped keep me going. And then when my collaborator said, "Hey, what's the holdup?" I was like, "I'm committed to you, so I have to do this, even though it's a little scary for me." And then once I did it, it was a lot less scary. And then, the next year we did 4 books, then we did 6, then we did 10, and then we did solos. And so we had this, I had this momentum going once that first book got under my belt. So more than a year of pushing your book, out is I can tell you from experience, it's just not great. Even though with our packages, with our publishing services, we do allow you for 2 years, I just know that that 1 year time frame is really the sweet spot. So pre-orders, again, like I said, will help you get through that. Now, I want to talk a little bit about pricing structure and different structures of your pre-orders. So to break up this content a little bit here, I'm going to go ahead and show you my screen, because this is how we did ours for our Butts and Seats 2 launch. And very, very simply, right? It's just first name, last name, email, phone, address, right? That's all we need to get a book to someone. And so we have what I think is really very useful. So now this screen was at one time, it said pre-orders, right? So instead of signed author's copy, it said pre-orders, right? So you can change your page, you can change your form, whatever you need to do. If after you've already published your book, you want to continue to supply people with author copies, signed author copies, like we did here. Now, since we've done multiple books, we give people an option. They can do the $25, and I'll talk about pricing in just a minute. $25 for one book. You can do, if you have multiple books, you can do two books, that they send, and then just reduce that price a little bit, instead of $50, it's $44. And then you can do an entire bundle, right, of the 5 books, which for us, we happen to have 5 books that we can send people. And we would sign all 5 of those and that kind of thing. Now, some of these books were written by my husband only, Todd Schaefer. Some of them we wrote together. We wrote Butts and Seats together, but I would say that he also kind of more ghost wrote some of the content. I gave him recordings and information that I supplied him from my own mind, and conversations and all that stuff, and he assimilated the information. So we're both on those books. Then you have other options that you could do as well. So we've got a business strategy session. So you get a consult and you get a book, so you have the option that if you wanted to add on your own sessions and things like that, then that can also be really very cool. Then there's an action plan, and this is delivered as a PDF. So this would be kind of put to use, after that initial strategy session. So having those action steps, and then a coaching package, so there's really no limit to what you could do when you do a pre-order, and you can talk about what they get with a pre-order if you want to add things in with the book as well, but if you just want to make it kind of a surprise. So for us, I'll go ahead and stop sharing here. So for us, what we did was what I like to do, and I'm going to talk about some more of this, like how to do the shipping piece in just a moment. Is what I like to do is I like to gift wrap my stuff. I like to put stickers, if I happen to know the person, I might know what kind of stickers they might like. And I'll put in a little card, a little note that says, thank you. I really appreciate you, wanting to read the book, and please share, if you have any information that you'd like to share with us, or if you have questions, please email us, that kind of thing. And just giving that personal touch. And then any logo type things that you happen to have, we have our star in our book logo that I might put on the packaging. I use a Cricut machine, and I just, kind of make some stickers and things like that. And then there's also things like Sticker Mule, which I really like. That's a really great organization. They just did a deal for doing pins, like lapel pins, 50 for $19. And I'm like, oh, that's great. I can't wait to put those, because I also make author boxes when people sign up for our publishing services packages. So, just so many little fun things that you can do that really enhance it. Now let's talk about why it's $24.99 for a signed copy, when our copies on Amazon, I think, are $15 or $16. Let me see if I put it on. I think I put it on for 16, like $15.99. So here's the deal. Okay. So we're just going to break down the money piece. Now, for your wholesale copies, usually through KDP, they're a little bit more expensive generally on Ingram Spark. And I do not find that the quality is quite there. Some people think the opposite. They're like, I think Ingram Spark is better than KDP, but that's all about your preference and what you like. So what it usually is about the price, dependent upon the size of your book, can be anywhere from $350 to $450, per copy for you wholesale that you would be buying and then shipping, right? So So I just kind of, you know, did a little bit of an up, and a little bit of an uptick, just said, it's $5 a copy, let's say. And that would include the shipping per book, that would include the handling or tax and that kind of thing. So we're saying $5 a book total. Then you have your shipping for your book, that you would be shipping them to people, right? Now, if you use something, I want you to hear this. It's called Pirate Ship. Pirate Ship, just like Pirate Ship. And let me just take a look at my back office. I don't want to show any sensitive information. Let's see. I'm just going to pull up rates. Okay, so I'll show you this. And just so you can kind of see the back office here. Now, this is, real simple. You can get the rate quotes and that kind of thing, but this is their logo, so you'll know what you're looking for. It's ship.pirateship.com. And I think you can just put in Pirate Ship, it'll come up. And I know you're like, oh, I don't know. And I was too. I was like, ooh, I don't know. Is that cool? Like, am I doing something bad? Because pirates, pirates, those pesky pirates. I thought, oh, maybe I'm not doing something right, but it's completely fine. And what they do is they find the best rates for you, either through UPS, USPS, or I think FedEx, and I think some other different things, and they find the best rate that'll work for what you're wanting to ship. And so I was like, well, what can I get? How low of a price can I get? So I was able to generally get one book copy down to $7 for shipping, approximately. So you add that up, that's 5 plus 7 is 12. And then I look at like $2 or so for the packaging stuff, whether it's the stickers, whether it's an envelope, whether it is, just really anything. I was just add a little couple dollars in for that. Now, I don't know if how really, whatever. I didn't really take into account like my time and that kind of stuff, but you want to take that into consideration if that's important to you. So we look at about essentially $14 a copy, right? If you are shipping it yourself, you're getting the shipment in, you're shipping it yourself with your supplies. And you've also got your signature, and you might add in a couple gifts. So that means you're only getting $2 a book profit if your book is at $16 on Amazon. So that's not enough. It's not enough. So we generally, and this is across the board, publishing wise, across the way, is about $25 to $30 for pre-orders. And that gives you about, if we're on the low end at $25, that gives you an $11 profit. Now, that pays for your time, that pays for your energy, that pays for you taking your stuff to UPS or wherever you're going, or, just packaging it and giving it that tender, loving care that you would give your books. And so, but I always think adding something in is really good. Otherwise, they can get it from, Amazon. I just think that special touch is super important. So those are the reason. That's the understanding, kind of the pricing, situation. So if you are getting $11 a book, and which I think is really really terrific. I just want to do some calculations here, and you get 100. You get 100 pre-orders. That's $1,100, right? So those are some things to think about, which could help you pay for your book, that could help you get it out there, that could help you with marketing expenses, that could help you with doing some of the publishing services that you might want to do. And this is an evergreen thing. Your book is evergreen. If you've got it up on ebook and you've got it up on paperback, it's forever, and since you send out copies, you can do, when you do your book launch and that kind of thing, you can really get some more of those reviews in as well. So you really become a marketer. You become a digital marketer, you become a direct marketer when it comes to selling your books once they're out there, once they're published and you're an indie author. Which I think is fantastic. Like to me, I mean, I sold vegetables door to door when I was a kid. I did yard sales. I did all kind, because I'm just that way. That's in my makeup. That's who I am. I just like, providing something for people to buy. So, and I think it's really fun too, because it's like, oh, these are the best cucumbers in Hanover County. You are going to want them. And look at how much you get. You get 3 cucumbers, 2 tomatoes for $1. I'm dating myself. You know how old I am now. And it was a good price then, it's a good price anywhere now. But ultimately, the bottom line is that when we are looking at pricing and pricing structure, you want to keep in mind that you're going to be, putting in your you gotta make room. You gotta have a cushion there for making money with your book as well. I know that we all want to just give everything away, but ultimately, I think that it's really helpful to know that you are getting that energy exchange and your signature. It's important. It's valuable. It really is. Now, if you are at a book event or you are, doing book signings and things like that, you may only charge the $16 because you don't have to pay for all the shipping and all the other costs and things like that. So, you may just do that. Or if you're doing a program, it's something that comes along with it where you give them their book for free, with the conference that you're charging $1,000 for, so that's something that I think is very, very good and very, I think a very good value bonus add-on that you can be giving those books because you are doing something that is more of a high ticket kind of program. But if we're looking strictly at pre-orders, this is a way you can get some of those marketing dollars back in so that you're able to promote your book more and get it out there more. And which is really what the point is. The bottom line is that you want to get your information and your voice to the world, right? All right. So I have gone on. So we have, and I just wanted to take a couple more minutes here. We have the pirate ship, which I highly recommend. You can also create a UPS, account. You can do a UPS account and get some free boxes, get some free envelopes and things like that from them. However, they'll give you those things, but they are for express, they're for UPS only, and that kind of stuff. Now, how do you get around that? First of all, I don't do the envelopes with UPS anymore. I have in the past, the cushion envelopes. I have in the past, and I use them as kind of like stuffing for inside the boxes for my author boxes. But because I didn't realize this. So this was a mistake that I made. But it was a useful mistake because I figured out how to get around it, at least temporarily. So I also do author boxes. So when people sign up for our packages, our primary package, our flex package, whether it's the base or they get additional add-ons, it doesn't matter. The base one I give them a really cool author box. I think it's cool anyway, that I hand make a lot of the stuff that's in there and it's really fun. So in that author box, though, I had gotten boxes from UPS and it said it has to be express. You have to mail them this way. And that's super expensive, right? So I actually take the box and I cover it in brown paper. I really tape it up nice. And then I'm able to use that box because boxes are expensive. But now I remember I am still using UPS. So for me, I feel like I'm still doing something good. I don't know. And then people can reuse the boxes if they want to. So there's that piece. The other piece is that for these types of books, I've just gotten the cushion mailers from Amazon. I think I got $25 or $14. And that worked out really well. And then other little things, like I said, I go to Ross's, which is a little discount store here in Phoenix, and they have a little arts section, and they have like bunch of stickers and fun stuff like that. And I've gotten stuff from Walgreens, and so I don't spend a lot of money, on the stickers and stuff, but I do like adding those. I think it adds a little something special to it. Let's see, what else do I want to say about pre-orders? Um, I really think that's it. But it's a fantastic way to really hone in on what it is that you want to offer, because your book is not just your book, because that's what people do, right? They put their book out there and they say, okay, buy it. And then they wonder how come it's not being bought, and so I want you to think about this in a long-term way. Your book, once it's published, has a now 2-year. You're marketing your book nonstop for 2 years if you really want your message to get out there. And you're becoming a digital marketer. You're putting your information out there in tandem with what you offer with your services. If you're not wanting to offer a service and you don't want to bring this together with anything else or bundle it, kind of like what I was showing you before with the pre-orders, that's understandable. I get it. At the same time, I feel like when we really have a message to share, doing everything we can to get it out there is very powerful. And that includes doing interviews, getting on podcasts, talking to people, doing some networking, connecting about your message as well can be really helpful. So we want a really good, advantageous set point for authors. And this is one way to do it with your pre-orders, is to get everything set up so that you become committed to your work and bringing your information to people who do need it and do want it. All right. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great day. We will be back again with Author Advantage in the future. And I'll talk to you later.